And we are live.
Hooray, we are live. Episode number 37. Fruit Loop, how's life?
Good. Very
Good.
good.
Okay, so Fruit Loop.
Fruit Loopy.
Fruit Loopy, excellent. What I
Yes.
like to hear. Fruit Loop. People have read about it or have been told about it. Um, and it's in the up and coming pineapple. You had a bit of a chaotic day yesterday, didn't you?
Yes. Surprise, surprise.
Okay, so I thought in honor of
Nothing
this,
new.
nothing. No, okay. But I thought in honor of this day, can I serenade you?
Okay, go for it.
Do you remember?
I have a song that came to mind instantly.
Or maybe I've got it. I hope it's not the same song. I just hope it's not the same song. I'm going to scream if it is, but I don't think it is because we're two different generations. But phew, it would kill me if it is. let me croak this to you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now I don't have any roses. I don't have any flowers.
That's okay.
It's
That's
okay.
okay.
All right. Okay. And it's not midnight, and I'm not standing underneath your window. Yeah, I'm north of the Sahara. Yeah. Here we
Yes.
go. 3, 2, 1. I am sailing. I am sailing stormy waters across the sea. I am sailing. I'll stop there just in case the two listeners.
Mine is a little bit more jumpy.
Okay, thank
Raindrops
God.
are falling on my head.
Which is probably closer to the truth.
Yeah.
It was a bit wet in your house yesterday, wasn't it?
Yes. I could probably sail a boat in my office.
Is it dry?
It's dry, yes.
You have
And
resumed station in your usual perch because yesterday
I'm
you had to move to higher ground, as it were.
yes, I had to move into higher ground. Um, yeah, it never rains, it pours.
And then in a WhatsApp message to me, you actually told me what the cause of it was.
Oh, yes.
And I wrote back, the mind boggles. But I mean, maybe you can reveal to us the cause of
Yes.
of the mishap that beflooded your house, and maybe
Mm.
explain to us how this cause could happen.
Fun times. Okay. So my office used to be a porch, and it's closed with two very big, beautiful windows. And the gutter on the side, on my left, was blocked. But when I went out the back door, I saw the gutters that side are blocked as well. You can actually see the leaves crawling over the gutters. But because of this blockage and the weird way that they built this part of the roof, the water just came running into the office. So the water was about 5 centimeters deep.
That's a lot of water.
That is a lot of water. Luckily, we were home, so it was easy to, and my laptop and all the gadgets weren't in the office because I take them out at night and put them in a safe place.
Mm.
And I didn't take it out yesterday morning because I started mopping the floors. Pouring outside, I'm mopping the floors.
Others would say bail ships. You, as a perfect homemaker, you mop the floor of the boat.
Yes. So I was busy doing that. And then you just heard this whoosh, and the water just came running into the office. So my husband and I ran. We removed all the furniture. That is a fully loaded bookshelf. My table, my chair. I had my exercise bike in here as well, but we took that into the storage yesterday. So it's no longer here.
It,
And
it
then we
floated.
also
It
have
floated away by it, so you didn't
it
have to pedal
floated.
it.
It floated into the storage unit. And then we also have the inverter, which is a bit heavy, but it's on wheels. So we thought about leaving it, and then we took it out anyway because the water just got higher, or the level just rose. It was higher and higher. So we took it out. Um, Everything was out except for the curtains and the pictures on this wall. And they stood in the living room. Luckily, I didn't get to washing the living room floor. I did the bedrooms, I did the bathroom, and then this started. So I sent the one person here, sent a message. I said, good morning. When it stops raining, can you please send the gardener just to clean out the gutters because they are blocked and we are flooded. Um, and about 5 minutes later, the rain stopped. And they immediately came in, had a look at the gutters. And I said, okay, no, he's quickly going to clean it out. So he got his tools and he had a brush as well that he used to clean it in a decent way. He also had a long tube to stick into the gutters that runs down the side of the house. So he cleaned all the gutters around. And when he got to the one here, he found leaves, which is understandable. And then he found a flip flop and a tennis ball. So the flip flop, the shoe, we call them plakkies in Afrikaans.
Oh, really? Pluckies. Oh, I like that word.
Yes. So this plucky was blocking the gutter.
Sounds like a pet name. Plucky, Plucky, yes. Where are you? Help, I'm drowning.
Yes, I'm drowning. I'm drowning, not the shoe. So he removed the shoe. The shoe was left here. I don't know what happened to it. I think the dog took it. And then he took the tennis ball. The tennis ball was so rotten that he had to throw it away. But it wasn't my son's shoe and it wasn't our tennis ball.
So, how does a plucky and a tennis ball find itself in your drain and gutter?
The neighbor.
How does it get there? I mean, you said to me that they tend to be fairly, how should we say,
loud, noisy, vocal. Yes.
Yeah. So, do you think it was just a bit of a, how do we say this? Very vocal exchange of words and a flying tennis ball and a flying plucky. I love the word.
No, plucky. No. So the mom that lives here, she has 3 or 4 kids. I don't know. She has a lot. I've never seen her husband, or I don't know if she's even married. I know they come from Durban. Mm-hmm. Family still lives in Durban. School holidays, they go to Durban. Long weekends, they go to Durban. Mm. So she has a small boy. He is about 1 year, maybe 2 years old. Mm. Then there's a bigger boy. I think he's 9 years old now. And then he has 2 sisters. So I've only seen the one in the recent couple of months. So the other one, I think she was matric last year. And then this one is maybe 14, 15.
Wow. Yeah. 1 and 18. Yeah, that's quite an age difference. Okay, we'll leave that one
there. I'm also just guessing, but there's a
noticeable
big
gap.
Yes.
Okay.
So the boy, the 9-year-old, or 9 or 10 years old, he's a bit naughty and busy and probably the loudest. And we saw him play with the ball a couple of times, and the ball ended in our yard millions of times. We usually just throw it back over the wall because we know it belongs to them. And the tennis ball, thank whoever wants to listen to this, got stuck on the roof. I'm happy that happened. I didn't know the ball was missing, but he would. So their porch is right behind my wall. So he would sit on the porch and throw the ball against the wall the whole time.
Oh,
So I could hear it. Doof, doof, doof.
There's not much of a sound that is more irritating than that.
Yes. Yes. So the ball got lost, thank heavens, but it got stuck on the roof and blocked my gutter. But I didn't know this until yesterday. So the ball stopped. And then the shoe, well, I actually saw him play with his shoes and he was throwing it in the air, and eventually one got stuck on the roof, and that's how it ended up there. They tried climbing up the wall because we have a wall that separates us as well, not a very high one. They tried climbing up the wall to get the shoe from the roof, but they couldn't reach it, and then the mom told them to get down.
And they didn't sort of pop over and say, "Look, excuse me, I think we've dropped a ball in your gutter or a shoe."
I think it ended on their side.
Okay.
And then with the recent rain and rain showers and wind, I think that kind of blew to our side or shifted to our side.
Or in the case of Plucky, walked across to your side.
It walked across.
Yeah, the flip-flop that gained independence and decided to explore the world and got stuck in your drain, yeah?
Yes, yes. But it's probably because of the water, because flip-flops can float.
What a story. Beautifully told. You are a born storyteller.
Oh, thank you.
Needless to say, the floodwaters have receded and normality has returned to your household. Yeah.
Yes. So we had a lot of rain last night and this morning, so the streets are flooded outside, but luckily it's dry where I'm now.
Okay. All right. What a day.
Yes.
What a day. Okay. That was the introduction. I think you're going to write about this in the Pineapple or something like that.
Yes, definitely. I have some other fun things to add.
I look forward to that. Okay. Right. Episode 37 of Peeling Potatoes. We are 2 episodes away from a very important date in the breeder calendar.
Yes.
Drum roll. We're going to celebrate that somehow. I have no idea. I think we'll have to talk about that.
Yes.
And in our spud list, I sort of very cheekily just chucked the ball into your court. God, it does not work.
Thank you.
It was not the one that landed in the gutter, okay?
I'll have a lot of balls by the end of today.
Right. In the spud list, I wrote on the peeling potatoes slot.
Get your head out of the gutter. Oh, this is fun.
Fruit Loops episode.
Yes.
Well, I tell you, I mean, I've been burning the candle on both ends at the moment, and I have this because my wife is in England. I have this weird habit. I wake up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I just cannot get back to sleep. And I'm not happy about that. But anyway, so
what time do you go to bed?
Well, because I'm so tired by then. I actually Actually, last night I went to bed later than I wanted to.
Oh, I know why.
I wouldn't. Okay, why? What?
Because you watched a series.
I watched a series, but I wanted to watch the series much earlier. And I have to
Oh,
say, I mean, normally we don't agree on. It's one of the few things that we do not agree on. But I'm
yes.
beginning to suspect actually it's not you. I think it's your husband. Um, and because whenever you've recommended something, I've said, well, it's not really my thing, and then you said, well, it's not mine either. I said, well, why are you telling me this then?
Because
Um,
maybe you might find the joy in them like I do
what
at
like the
some point.
predator, some monster eating.
I actually enjoyed that later on. The
Okay,
beginning is a bit boring, but later it
but the
gets
beginning
better.
is boring. I just watched the trailer and I recorded. No way, didn't even get to it. But anyway, the series that I'm watching, um, other channels and other series are available. I am going to name it 56 Days. It's on Amazon
Yes.
Prime.
Yes.
Um, it is incredibly well made,
Yes.
incredibly intelligently put together, and
Yes.
I'm now on episode 4,
Okay.
and you just have no idea because they just strategically throw in another facet to the story, and
Mm-hmm.
you sort of start
Yes.
formulating and thinking, okay, it's got to be that person, and then it comes back, and oh, hang on, well, that doesn't fit now. It is really well made. So
Yes.
I'm glad I took the brave step. But no, before that, so yeah, I went bit late. So I watched episode 3. Um, but I got distracted because I was talking to somebody in Uganda, and I made myself something to eat, and my mother and I had a drink together, discussed this, that, and the other, and sort of, and then my wife sent me a couple of texts as well, and I said, "Hey guys, I just want to sit down and watch the next episode of 56 Days. Please leave me alone." Yeah, but Richard in Uganda kept
Well, it's
hammering me with,
weekend. It's
well,
weekend,
you don't
so
know what
you
I've got
can
planned.
binge the rest of the
You do not,
episodes.
well, I might do. Yeah, you
I
do not know what
did
I've.
binge it. I did that on Sunday and I loved it.
Hmm. Well, I've got other plans for the weekend, but I might have to recover from them. I'll maybe tell you about that. Anyway, so my sacred viewing time was distracted by people who all of a sudden decided, let's talk with the mayor because
Now's a good time to
here's a
talk.
good time. Yeah. We've been talking all day. Oh no, okay. We'll just destroy his evening now as well. So um, yeah. So maybe I'm just going to fall off the planet this evening and binge watch the rest, and hopefully not have to get up at 3:30 or 4 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Yes.
So if I go to bed later, I might get up later as well. Okay. Anyway, so episode 37. This is a very long introduction, Fruit Loop. I threw the ball in your court. Let's play ball.
Yes.
Let's play ball. What are you going to put me through in my grief?
I just want to add something. So, with the series that you're watching at the moment, I made a guess in the beginning, and my guess was correct, but then I couldn't figure out the rest of it.
I'm not going to ask you for a spoiler.
No, I'm not going to tell you. That's why
No,
I'm
because you
not
love you
not
love
saying
you love
anything.
you love keeping me hanging, don't you? Yeah.
I want you to finish it, and then I will tell you what my guess was.
Okay. Are we going to rewrite it? Oh, and this is something for the pineapple. Maybe we could write a review about it.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah,
idea.
it's a very good idea.
But you have to finish it first.
Yes. Okay. All right. Okay.
And then I started watching another one called
Mm.
Black Dove.
Yeah. Yeah. You
But
know what
that's on Netflix.
you know what you're forcing me to do, don't you?
I'm not forcing you to do anything.
Okay. Let's rephrase that. Very strongly motivatingly encouraging me to take out a Netflix subscription because I'm probably the only person on this planet who does not subscribe to Netflix.
Yes.
I might do how many episodes is that?
Also 6 or 8.
Mm,
I think it's 8 as well.
yeah, you sent me the trailer of that, and I'm noticing a pattern here. Fruit Loop Watchers Uncensored is really good.
Okay. So the things I watch on my own, I should send to you, and the things I watch with my family, I should just avoid.
Well, no, the family component is because I am trying to also watch The Wild Robot, which is becoming a bit of a problem.
Mhm.
And I did start watching Zootopia 2,
Yes.
um, but I have kind of difficulties getting my head into that. I liked Zootopia 1.
Mm.
Um, I find Zootopia 2, I don't know, maybe I need to have, I need to be in a more buoyant mood, putting it mildly, to enjoy that. I'm probably very grumpy and serious at the moment, so probably 56 days is more my mindset or my mental state. Um, and then when we sort of have more members in the community and stuff like that, and I can actually start breathing again, then I
Yes.
might watch Zootopia too. But at the moment, I couldn't really sort of get my. But we did establish that I am sadly lacking in basic education in terms of Disney films and Pixar films and kids movies. That is a black hole in my educational range. So I do request that you do recommend some of those as well. Yeah, I hope this old goat can lighten up a bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Can we get to the topic at heart now?
It's good to talk about your hobbies and your newly found hobbies.
Oh, my newly found hobbies.
Yes.
Ta-da! Ta-da! Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway.
Okay. So I know about your to-do lists. So the pink one is your doodle horse list, and
Mm,
then you have a yellow one, which
mm.
is
I have the yellow one,
reader.
no, the yellow one
Oh,
is sort of my own private to-do list. And there's only
okay.
well, I have
You don't have to mention what is on it.
no, it's okay. It's called car insurance.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
um,
That's boring.
It is. But then I have another list here, which is not colorful, but it is actually what I did yesterday morning, sitting in the kitchen and I was surveying the house. And I thought, I need to do something. And then I sort of broke it
Mhm.
down into tasks, um,
Okay.
just to get my mindset around how I'm going to spend this. And then I've got a sort of a fluorescent green one, which is
Mhm.
a breeder to-do list. And then I have my
Okay.
notebook, which is sort of like the
All
empty,
over.
my, and then I have the one that is the tasks that I've done. And yesterday I managed to
Okay.
do 10 tasks. Yeah.
Okay.
The Doodle Horse one is it's not really a to-do list. It's more like
A fun list.
I don't know if it's called fun. It's something because I'm your victim. Um,
Yes.
so it's sort of it's my maybe I will tell this to Fruit Loop if she's interested list.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I want you to go back to the plain, boring white one, the
This
house.
a house one. Okay, right.
Yes.
Do I have to scan this in as Exhibit A of
No,
our?
no, no, you don't
Okay,
have to.
right. Okay.
Um, I know you mentioned that you have to do some spring cleaning.
Some.
Some, a lot,
It's basically
maybe,
it's basically tear down the house and
basically
refurbish it.
everything. Yes. Is that what is on your list?
Um. Okay, so let me tell you, because we had our lunch meeting yesterday, and I felt really elated and so on. So I'm going to tell you what actually happened. I was sitting in the kitchen having my breakfast, and I actually intentionally, because normally it's just a bowl of porridge, sort of muesli type
Yes.
stuff,
Mm.
and a cup of coffee. And I thought, well, come on, let's do something sensible. And so I had a boiled egg and some baguette with some blueberry jam, not homemade. Um, and I actually sort of like what I say, emptied my brain,
Mhm.
and I divided. And then I had the idea of the day was we have to-do lists, we have tasks and things to do, and so on. And I thought, well, actually, that's all very boring. And I thought, well, why don't we design our day? So I said, I wrote down DYD, design your day. And I thought, well, actually, design is quite boring. I thought, well, let's Doodlehorse your day. So
Yes.
that's on the bottom left-hand corner. In the top right-hand corner, I have GYD, and then I have kitchen. That's the only because I was sitting in the kitchen.
Yes. So you could see everything that hurts. The pain points.
Boy, is it. And I was staring out the window, so that immediately bit me on the bum and said, "Okay, windows, they need clean.
Yes.
The floor, well, that's standard procedure. The work surfaces, that's standard procedure.
Yes.
The oven needs a thorough clean. We've got some bicarb somewhere where I can do that. Then I wrote down nooks and crannies because there are some sort of these difficult parts that need to be taken apart. Actually, both freezers need defrosting. So I thought I might do that, which actually is the wrong time of the year. It's far too warm for that, but okay. And then I wrote walls, but then I very wisely put brackets after that summer. So in summer, I want to actually just take everything out of the kitchen and give the walls a decent wash. And then I've got bedroom. And the only thing I put on there is ironing. But basically,
it's just thinking about ironing. I immediately have this picture where you have the bed and a whole pile of laundry on the bed that needs ironing.
No.
Ironing. Oh,
no.
not okay.
No.
A basket, maybe.
No, I have.
Okay.
I have two pairs. So it's not a whole pile.
Okay.
I can tell you what my ironing stack consists of. 2 pairs of jeans, 4 shirts, a couple of tea towels, and 1 or 2 napkins.
Okay.
It is actually very doable. And they are
5 minutes.
Well, no, not quite. Anyway, how can you say, because you delegate the ironing to your husband? You know, this was one of the first date contractual points when you and your husband met. I do not do any ironing. End of discussion. Except
sometimes I have to.
Oh, okay.
Not because I want to, but
anyway,
sometimes I have to.
So we digress. So the bedroom, ironing, but basically the thing repeats itself. Windows, floor, surfaces. There's no oven in the bedroom. Nooks and crannies. Yeah. There's no freezer to defrost. The walls don't need washing. Then I've got the living room. That space is actually blank.
Because you haven't been in the living room yet.
Well, no, I do. I go with them. Well, no, I go there in the morning and lift and raise the shutters, and then I sort of go there in the
leave it.
And then I go there for just after lunch and have a 20-minute nap, and then I walk out again, and basically then I go in the evening and lower the shutters, and I spend 90% of my time either in the kitchen or here in the study in the office. Which I did actually have to give it a lick and promise yesterday, because there is one client, that's the only client I meet physically. She comes here. So, and the Alsatian housefraus or the housewives, they are very particular. You know that from one of our clients who lives a couple of meters away from me. You can eat off the floor in their houses. And that is something I would not recommend in this house at this point of time. Needless to say that I am actually...
And you even admit that.
Well, I mean, let's put this into some context, because as some wise Fruit Loop told me, priorities can lead to misunderstandings. And so I have been spending the last 2.5 months rebuilding Breeder. Because someone decided to invade my privacy about a year ago and take over the show and make me unemployed in my own organization, not mentioning any names, Fruit Loop.
The way that you mentioned that, it sounds like you want me to leave. I invaded your privacy. Made it more fun.
Yeah, no regrets. Yeah.
Yes.
The only regret I have is we didn't do it fast enough, because I did commit myself to coming to South Africa this spring, your autumn, and somehow we didn't get our act together because we were doodling around too much, and I have to put that back a couple of months. But you are going to regret this.
It's still happening.
You are going to regret this.
I have no regrets.
You will be drinking champagne in the bush, and it's not some sparkling wine. I'm going to organize the proper stuff. I have seen the Champagne Problem movie, recommended to you. It was full of cliches, but that's the stuff. Okay. Anyway, so that's my weekend activities, I think. So what am I going to do this? What advice are you going to give me?
What if I told you that I have a plan, not a structure, to make it a bit easier?
Be my guest.
So I'm going to send that to you later. I'm
for God's sake, you're going to keep me hanging again. This
yes,
lady,
no. Hear me out. Remember, I told you on Wednesday I had a Doodlehorse day.
Yeah, that's when you were off the planet, much to my
So
chagrin.
I was, yes. But you were also off the planet. I sent you a message. You never responded. So I thought, okay, you are busy. I'm busy. We'll talk later.
Well, I'm a message behind.
I did send you something and you didn't respond. And then only later you sent hi. But anyway, that's besides the point.
Naughty Frank.
No, that's okay. I just thought you were busy. Okay, so well, I didn't bother you. I thought you were walking about.
No, I wasn't. I did.
I know.
Okay. Anyway, let's leave that one.
Anyway. So I was working on the dust buster.
The dust buster.
Yes.
Not the ghost buster. The dust.
No, the dust buster.
Okay.
So it is an ultimate cleaning guide for every day and seasons. How cool is that?
Sounds fantastic. I'm just trying to figure this one out. How am I going to sell this one to the other half?
Or maybe do you want the other half to do it?
I'll reserve judgment on that because I don't actually know what your dustbuster consists of.
So there's some daily tasks. So Monday you do this, Tuesday this, Wednesday this, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or weekends. Then there's also some things that you can do weekly, every second week, and monthly. Important things that we forget about. Believe me, I know.
You speak from experience. Yeah?
I speak from experience. Like the curtains, Exhibit A.
You can read about it in the article with Sylvie in the pineapple.
Yes, and then also the Fruit Loop reflection that will happen later. And then I also have pain points, just like you did when you wrote your list. The kitchen. There's this one small little space. I see the space every single time I do the dishes. And it's filled with a protein shake. There's a tub with protein powder in it, or protein powder, and the tub with protein powder. And then there's a measuring cup. And there's also another tin with some collagen drink or something, I don't know. But it's just shoved into that corner.
Sounds very husbandy.
But yes. It's also hidden. So I only see this when I do the dishes. And then I think I need to put that away. There's actually space in the cupboard just beneath it. But now it stays there. And this morning when I did the dishes, I saw it again. And then I remembered I need to put them away. And then I saw there's a spider found its home behind it. And I still didn't put it away.
This is so refreshing to hear that it's not just me. Okay.
Yes. So this list, all of these lists and plans I worked on, these guides, help in these kind of situations because you can check on the list, okay, do this, do that, do this and that, and you are done for the day. Tomorrow you do another room. Oh, there's also per room that I'm still working on. It's still a work in progress, but it actually works. I've tried a few of these things. I didn't follow the list completely, but my house is clean. I don't have to spend the weekend cleaning the house.
Might I just throw a rather horrible googly into this discussion?
Of course.
You did actually have some help last week. Was it last
Yeah.
week? Yes, it was last week
I
because
think
you were
last week.
you were offline for most of the week.
Oh, yes, that too.
Just nothing. I just
We were bored. We were offline. We did a couple of things, a lot of cleaning and tidying.
so basically that built the foundation.
Yes, it was
Whereas I'm
practice.
whereas I'm okay. Practice makes perfect. Okay, all right. Anyway, so how do I translate this into my situation? Um, um, you know, I don't think I've actually given you a tour of the house, or have I? You've probably seen snippets of it. We live in a fairly big place,
Yes,
and there's all the ground to cover. And
yes, I know
unlike
that.
unlike
That's
your,
why you are the perfect guinea pig.
oh, thank you, I feel so honored. Um, and I have two things to throw in. One, would be, both of them. So you also know that outside is a huge building site, and um, it may be finished by Easter.
Okay.
Nothing's happened for the last 3 months because it's been so cold,
Yes.
except that um, the courtyard's become more or less a sinkhole, um, and you carry all the gunk and the dirt into the house.
Yes.
Secondly, this house was built in 1904. So it's got a couple of years. She's an old lady, and she needs
Yes.
a bit of extra cleaning and polishing and makeup and so on and so forth.
Yes.
Old houses are a problem. And this is one thing you don't know. I actually also have the garage and a shed attached to the house. And
Mm-hmm.
you know the story of the 50-meter yellow hose, don't you?
Yes, I know.
It's hidden in the corner. It's gone crawling into the corner because it's ashamed of the winter state of the shed. Okay. Well, the two listeners are going to think, what kind of person is this? Yeah. Anyway, so I will show this. Well, I will share it with the other half, and she'll probably say, yeah, that's fine. You go and do it, dearest husband.
Yes,
Yeah. So
probably.
probably, yeah. It's okay. I
There's a
can do
hole in the bucket.
it. Dear laser, dear laser.
Then
Well,
fix
fix
it.
it, dear Henry. Okay, right. So that's the theory, and you're going to send this to me. And now,
Mm.
can you please, because I am a man, I do not understand any of these things. I am inferior to the wisdom of ladies. Um,
Mm.
Give me precise and simple instructions how to
Yes.
transform this theory into a package of activity, because it also has to fulfill a dual purpose. It has to make this place look respectable again, and
Mhm.
B, it has to actually keep me away from my bloody desk and
Well,
switch.
I'm sure when you start with one room, you are going to forget that you actually have a desk.
And more importantly, I have to switch off my brain, because confession time, mayor's confession. So you gave me strict orders
Last
to
weekend.
last weekend to not do anything
Mm.
on Sunday.
Yes.
And all of a sudden I had an idea,
Yes.
and I had nothing better to do than to convert that idea into reality,
Yes.
which I showed you before we went on air this morning, and you were fairly impressed. Um,
Yes.
and this is my problem.
Well, if you look at these lists, I'm thinking about it, an example. Let's use the bathroom. So if you want to do some spring cleaning, you would do, if there's a curtain, you would do the curtain. You will clean the windows, the shower, the bath, the walls. Make sure you don't have any freeloaders in the corners somewhere. And the toilet and the basin, and then open the cupboards, take things out, throw the old stuff out, things that are expired, not used in 3 months, 6 months.
Sign the divorce papers, because 99% of the stuff is my wife's, so I'm not going to even go there.
Dump it into a bucket and just put the bucket in there. No, I'm joking. No, obviously you do what you are allowed to do. Tread lightly. But there's a lot of things to do. So once you start, you will say, oh, but there's spots on this wall. I have to wipe this wall. And oh, I need to disinfect these handles. And I have to find something to clean the shower floor a bit better. Or so it's going to keep you busy because you'll be thinking about what you are busy doing.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
And then once everything is shining and you can eat steak off the shower floor, which I would not recommend.
No, because I'd have to clean it afterwards, wouldn't I?
Exactly. You will feel better. You will feel like you have accomplished something.
Well, I mean, you are totally right. That's just what you say. Thank you.
Thank you. And you can even listen to some music while you are busy doing.
Well, I mean, yes, I did think of that. Walking around with Spotify in my ear. I haven't listened to your playlists for a long time, so maybe that would sort of give me extra motivation.
Yes.
But so in my state of euphoria yesterday morning, I did actually do some tidying and some decluttering.
That's good. It makes it easier to clean later.
Well, not only that, but because we've spent the week discussing what gives us energy.
Yes.
Yeah, and I know exactly where you come from with that little protein powder corner that you have, that you keep looking at, because you sort of look at it and you think, well, that needs to be done, and then you get distracted. And then 24 hours later, you go back and you think, oh, it's still there. It needs to be done. And this cycle continues.
Yes.
Yeah? Until at some point, there's actually no space to put anything anymore. Yeah.
Yes.
And I did something else. And this is a quote that came from Sarah. I put my phone in jail.
Nice.
Because it was it 6 o'clock in the morning? So I'd already been up for 2.5 hours. It was 6 o'clock in the morning. And it's sort of, different time zones. So, some of the messages start playing, so just go away. Yeah. So I put the phone in the office, went back into the kitchen, took some paper and a pen, and started doodling.
Yes.
And then the idea with the Post-it notes came back, because that is important as well.
Yes.
And I find, okay, so I'm a tick older than you, not much, but I'm seriously going analog. Yeah, paper, pen.
Yes.
Because there's just too much distraction on the phone, and also the phone. The phone is it's hidden, so you have a to-do list, and then the phone switches off and you forget about it, which is very convenient.
Yes,
but not helpful.
No, not at all.
So I did all this decluttering, and I actually took my time and sort of like Mary Kondo, when she has one of these, emptying your house, does this item give you joy? Philosophy.
Yes.
I thought, I looked at something and I said, okay, excuse my vulgar language, does this situation here that you are seeing now really, 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 really piss you off? And if the answer is a resounding yes, then you do something then and there, because the negativity of that little situation pours into what could be a really good day. And then you come out thinking, well, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I didn't do this. Your cognitive load increases because you're working, you're being bugged by the state of this, that, and the other.
Yes.
Something else negative might happen, and then your day just collapses.
Yes.
And then you sit in front of the TV at night and thinking, bleh, bleh, and then this negativity sort of flops over. And then, you're watching the news and it's not pretty what's going on at the moment, or the series might not be as wonderful as you thought it is, or something goes wrong, or
Yes.
the popcorn was burnt, or the wine was sour. There's always something that's going to go wrong.
Of course.
The beer's not
The
there.
roof is leaking.
The roof is leaking. The kitchen's flooding. Ducks are floating out. Tarantulas are walking away, saying, it's like Noah's Ark, isn't it? In reverse. We're not staying.
Yes.
We're leaving. Yeah.
Yes.
And then it snowballs.
Yes.
Yeah. And that was sort of the thinking that, and we've discussed this before, and you're right. It takes 2 minutes.
Yes.
It takes 2 minutes. So, so by the time I'd finished, probably had breakfast and done this, that, and the other, the kitchen was decluttered. The office was decluttered. It was actually also a little bit clean because I didn't want to have poor Genevieve think more worse of me than she already does. And I sort of got the bedroom a little bit into ship shape, and I folded the clothes and put that away and set up the ironing board and put all the ironing on top and so on and so forth. Yeah. So, what's the magic word behind this? What's Fruit Loop's favorite word? It's
just
mind.
do it.
No. That's 3 words. No. You can
mindset.
Distill it, exactly. You can distill it down to 1 word: mindset. Yeah.
Yes.
And if you put yourself into a positive mindset and say, I don't like this. I'm ashamed of what I see. What are other people going to think if they come to the place? Well, actually, I can't invite anybody anymore because there's such a rubbish tip. Yeah. And I mean, I'm exaggerating. I mean, it's not that bad at my house.
Yes.
I just want to drive this point home. If you let things slide, the ripple effect is huge, and out of ripples become waves, and out of waves become tsunamis, and then it's the end of the world. Yeah.
And then you become one of those people, with those hoarders that you can't live in your house anymore.
Well, I mean, you touch on a really important point. And my wife cannot throw anything away. I mean, you should see. I mean, you have a storage unit. We have an attic.
I have a husband and a son.
Yeah.
And they like to collect things.
Yeah, I know the problem. My wife.
Let's keep this because we might need it. Let's use let's keep this because we need it. Can I put this away for later?
Yeah. I have and I'm reaching that point in my life where I actually want to sort of like throw away 90% of what I have because it's just too much.
Yes.
Yeah. And say, look, but we were joking about this before Christmas, and there's a lot of pressure going on and things, and I said, just give me a tiny house in the bush, declutter everything and just leave me alone. I don't want to speak with anybody. I don't want to live with anybody. I just want to be by myself in my tiny house in the bush with a high-speed internet connection. End of discussion.
Yes.
Santa Claus didn't deliver, but okay, maybe I haven't been a good boy. But,
maybe this year.
Yeah. Yeah. And to add insult to injury, I mean, our personal situation is that we're sort of based in 2 countries. Yeah.
Yes.
So we have this ginormous house here, and then there's the apartment in the UK, which is inhabited by my mother-in-law.
Yes.
And at some point, there's going to be a shift. And I'm just asking myself, with all the rubbish we have in this house, how's that going to fit into a 65 square meter apartment in the United Kingdom
Yes.
which is already overflowing anyway. Yeah.
Yes.
So therein lies this philosophy. So I'm going to get instructions from you.
Mm-hmm. You are going to practice. Test it out.
Okay. And what do I, apart from doing it, what else do I have to do?
You are welcome to make some suggestions to change and tell me how you feel after using it.
Oh, so I could lean back in my office chair, put my
You actually
feet
have to
in.
do it. I said earlier, just
Oh,
do it.
I actually have to do it. Oh, for
Who
God's
else is
sake.
going to do it? I can't go there to help you and do it.
I don't
Your
want you
wife is
to.
not there.
I do want you to be here for, say hello and so on, but not to clean up my mess. I'd rather have you here when I can, not
When the
be
mess
shaved.
is cleared.
Exactly. So you don't want any proof of
I don't
this.
think you have to send me proof. It feels a bit personal.
Okay. All
you,
right.
you can just share your feelings and tell me how it's been.
Okay.
Did you manage to do some things? Did you manage to take care of other things that
Okay.
pained you?
Pained you. So you want me to document this in the pineapple as a sort of the mayor reveals himself, or
That sounds terrible. The mayor reveals himself. Maybe with a different heading, different title.
okay. Mayor unmasked.
Oh, okay.
This is your unelected representative of the breeder community. Do you really want him? Um, don't even answer that one because I know where that one's going.
Okay.
Okay, so I will then write a full detailed report on how things went.
Yes.
If appropriate, I will send you the necessary visual documentation.
Okay.
If appropriate.
Okay.
And is there a is is there some sort of time frame that I have to
I think that depends on you because there's lists for days like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and the weekend, or Friday and the weekend. Short lists. So you don't have to spend 6 hours cleaning the house.
I can't. You keep me too busy to do other stuff.
Exactly.
I haven't got time to keep.
Exactly. So that's why they're short list with a few tasks that's easy to do. Takes 2 minutes. Some of them might take a little bit longer, but making your bed, 2 minutes. Um, and also feeding the cats, 2 minutes.
You do not know
Maybe a little
that.
bit longer. Let's add a disclaimer to say that it depends on how many cats you have and how fussy they are.
Or number three? No, was it number three cat Friday? Oh yeah, number three cat Friday. Now nicknamed the Barrel.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
um, she's not satisfied with one portion of food. She likes seconds and sometimes thirds. It's like a three-course menu at this point,
Okay.
She will beat the door down. I tell you, she will bash the door down and make herself known. I have never known a cat communicate so effectively as Friday has. Yeah. But then she cuddles me and says, she says thank you and
Yes.
rips my clothes apart and starts
Okay.
whittling and so on and so forth. Yeah. Okay. So I've been given my marching orders. I will report back report back on duty and update you.
Yes.
So is this a week's plan, or is this the weekend, or how have you got, what have you
I
got planned
think
for my
I think
weekend? It's not that I have any freedom here, you know. My wife's gone. You're probably speaking with my wife behind my back.
no, no, I'm not.
Has he done this yet? No, I'll get him to do it. Don't worry. Yeah. Um, leave it with me. You know, women
Well,
unite. Women unite. Yeah.
yes. So last week we did your whole planning for the weekend.
Which was very well. And may I just interrupt you? It's pizza with my mother tomorrow. I have to make a pizza
Oh,
tomorrow.
nice. Oh, nice.
Mm.
Okay. So that's already planned.
Yes. Yeah. So last week we did the food planning. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm not sure what your planning would be for this weekend, but I think that if you already have your cleaning lists and your organizational skills, I think you should choose what you want to do and how much time you will spend on it, and also how much time you have to relax. But
Mm.
you should rest. You should rest as well.
Well, that actually has a very, very realistic chance of happening.
Yes.
Because I did say one thing that I was going to do over the weekend concerning Breeder. And I sort of have in my planning housekeeping, not the housekeeping of the house, but the housekeeping of Breeder.
Yes.
Sort of scheduled in for Friday afternoon. And the other thing, of course, is, and this is what I noticed on Monday, and this is something we actually talked about. We can sort of build this into the bigger scheme of things. Is the jungle, otherwise known as my vegetable patch.
Yes.
You can stop laughing now. Um, and to add insult to injury, not mentioning any names on the other side of the Sahara Desert, you at some point said, "Oh, you said that last year." I thought, God,
Because you did.
take nail, insert into heart, twist.
Sorry.
Um, very effective. So so this is I've got to go to my to-do list. Yeah. So this is the does Fruit Loop want to know thing. And so somewhere
Okay.
on this, I'm going to tell you now anyway. Because there are, jokes aside, some very serious considerations here. So we have the DYD, Doodlehorse Your Day.
Yes.
And I thought that you, or no, that what will probably work for me, you know, this is sort of other people have other problems and it has to work for them. So we have a diary, and you sort of
Yes.
block times for this. And again, this is all really boring words. Yeah. So I thought, well, I don't have a diary. Yeah, I have stables and paddocks.
Okay.
Your eyebrows are contracting, thinking, what's he talking about
No, I
now?
know.
Um, and you sort of spend and doing one activity in a stable, and for a finite time. And this is what I did on Monday. Yeah. I went into the jungle.
Yes.
And I started clearing away all the shrubs and all the gunk and all the stuff.
Yes.
And I set myself an hour to do that. And apart from the fact that I'm not used to physical labor at the moment, it was a bit painful.
Yes.
And then I walked 9.5 kilometers on the Tuesday in Strasbourg. That was even more painful. But you have a finite time and you do something. And then after the hour is over, you down tools and walk away and do something
Yes.
else.
Yes.
And then, okay, that can go now. That's number 11, taken off the list. And then you said at one point that you spent some time measuring how long it took you to do a certain activity, just to get a
Yes.
feel for all of this
Yes.
and to say, okay, doing this, it only takes literally 2 minutes. And I know what I'm talking about. So I actually measured it. Yeah.
Yes.
So reality and perception sort of push away. And there is actually, and this is something that I did yesterday. Was it yesterday morning? Was it Thursday? Yeah. So I'm going to sort of leap onto the other side of the planet for a minute. When I did my work with Mercedes-Benz many years ago, they had a process in their production lines and in their management and so on, which is called Kaizen. Now, it's a Japanese word, and it came from Toyota back in the 1920s. And basically, you observe what you do.
Yes.
And then you start thinking, how can I do it better? Or so on. And I think at some point you become so uncomfortable in your own mess that
Yes.
you start thinking, well, actually, why am I doing this? How am I doing this? What is the root cause? And then you start
Yes.
observing yourself. And this, I think, is the magic of Doodlehorse. If there is a person to speak with, the Fruit Loops in this world, yeah,
Yes.
then it becomes almost like, well, I am the one who's unpacking and unfolding and unmessing myself,
Yes.
but I'm going to somebody of a certain authority or a friend or somebody that I can relate to, and that person is not going to crucify me because I'm trying to improve myself. And
Yes.
that's where the progress is. You do your own work, but you have a person that you can share this with and maybe say,
Yes.
okay, that works. And then, well, that's off the list. And then there is a fantastic book called The 7 Habits of Successful People,
Yes.
written by Stephen Covey, the late Stephen Covey. And he has a system of quadrants, what is important and what is unimportant, and you should be operating in one certain quadrant.
Yes.
And then what he really did well, and I'm surprised, I've actually ever seen one person do this to its full consequence. He had a calendar, and he divided. He made you do two things. So you have the time and the hours, but then you also have the roles that you play. So from and you start thinking, okay, so what roles do I have in my life? So I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a businessman, I'm in the club, I'm in the team of something.
Yes.
And then you sort of allocate the time and the roles in order to manage this whole complexity.
Yes.
And then you sort of say, okay, so on Monday between 4 and 5 in the afternoon, I'm Farmer Giles, and I'm going to go into the jungle and I'm going to, rip apart the place.
Yes.
And then the consistency comes from there. So there you go. Where is that one? Stephen Covey. See, I now have 13 on my done list. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And my Doodlehorse list is down to 5 points. But none of them are quite relevant. Well, actually, the other thing is walk around with post-it notes. And this came, I have 3 exhibits here. Yeah, there you go. Three
Yes.
post-it notes, the little ones. This one actually came from Natalie in South Korea because Natalie, she likes to anticipate things that do not happen.
Okay.
And I said, so how do you do it? And she said, well, I have post-it notes on my desk. And I write something down and I stick it on the post-it note. And then I physically, when it's done, rip it away. Now, and everybody knows the joy of crossing something off the to-do list.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you mentioned post-it notes, I think last week or something like that. And I thought, well, 2 women There must be something there. I better listen to this. Yeah.
Yes.
So I decided to do the post-it notes. Yeah. Now the problem is, you'll probably criticize me for this, but my to do my done list is a bit messy at the moment. So maybe I should structure it nicely. Yeah.
And no, it's okay. It's done.
Yeah.
It doesn't need structure.
Yeah.
So, what are you
Um,
going to do with the done list after you are done?
well, that's a very good question. I don't actually know, because I mean, some of them I throw away, which is of course environmentally unfriendly. Yeah. But so in the breeder thing I had yesterday, I wrote down prep lunch with Janita and Frank. So I did that, and then I just stuck it on here. But that's something that's recurring, so I could actually stick it. At the end of my housekeeping Friday afternoon, it could be actually a ritual, couldn't it? That I put, okay, I've done this, but this is a recurring event, and it goes back onto the breeder to-do list. Yeah.
Yes.
But for instance, I wrote down feedback, 56 days. Well, I've given you the feedback,
Yes.
so that can actually get thrown away. So
Yes.
it might make it. I suppose I could.
Or you can make it recurring until you're finished, because this is going to be discussed again.
What, 56 days?
Yes, because you still need to finish it.
Okay, well, that's a good thought. You see, two minds think alike. Great
Yes.
minds think here. But I could also turn it into a work of art, and I could hang it up and say, this is my achievement.
Like a trophy. but the idea is to declutter and keep less things. So I wouldn't keep it for that simple reason.
Mm. Okay. So anyway, so 56 days has to move back onto the Fruit Loop discussion list. Okay.
Yes,
So
until it's finished, until you
done.
finished it.
Okay. All right. Pineapple issue 1. Well, that can go. Stephen Covey calendar, doodle your day, Kaizen, that can get thrown away. Prep lunch, that has to go back, because I have to do that next Wednesday or Thursday. Doctor's appointment, that's been made. Appointments, Alex, that's been made. So, so that's stuff that I can actually, that can be thrown away. But then
Yes.
you can do a victory dance or a celebration. So I can I can take my pink rubbish bin here. Yeah. And then I can sort of have a little tribal dance around it and have a throwing away ceremony. I'm not going to video that.
No.
Okay.
You can just send happy faces. Then I know you're busy dancing.
Okay. I love this.
Yes.
Very motivating.
Yes. And it's fitting to our energy topic.
It is.
Because once you are done and you have this accomplishment, you have your sticky note trophy, you feel like, I've done something. I did it. I can do it again.
Yes.
And that's the way that I felt this morning. I came home after dropping my son off. It was pouring outside. So the office is dry. So I decided that I'm going to finish mopping the floors quickly, which I started yesterday but couldn't finish because of the the mishap.
Slight tsunami wave that said hello to your
yes,
domesticity.
more like a monsoon and a tornado and a tsunami all together. Anyway, so then I finished the floors. The floors weren't dirty, but they did have some paw prints and some muddy prints, which I just wanted to get rid of. And then I saw, there's a couple of dishes. Let me just quickly wash them. It's not going to take a long time. Wash them, wipe the counters, and then I finished the kitchen floor. And then I came back into the office to wash the curtains. So they were done. The floor was wet again. So I quickly mop the floor, but because of washing the curtains, not because
Mm,
of the rain. And the curtains are dry now. They are done.
fantastic.
So the office is clean, the house is clean, it's tidy. I decluttered
Mm,
almost every day, almost every hour.
mm.
As I see things, I take them to their places or put them away if it's not being used. And yeah,
There's actually also one serious thing. I've written it. Um, I wrote it somewhere or read it somewhere. I can't remember. Infrastructure. Yeah, it's sort of. I mean, every house is designed differently, and I
yes,
sometimes wonder if architects speak with if male architects speak with their wives about um, the practicality of cleaning the family residence, because a man designed the house without
I doubt it.
consulting his wife, and that maybe certain implements that are used for everyday housekeeping and cleaning should be placed in a convenient location and not at the other end of the planet. Yeah. Um,
Yes,
and um, we had a little shall we say, discussion. We have one of these stick vacuum cleaners,
yes,
which it hangs in the kitchen, and it's got a little hook, and it hangs, and there's some sort of fastening on the machine end, body end, and it sort of just hangs in the kitchen. And I find it actually very useless, because a vacuum cleaner on parquet floors or tile floors, but that's another cause for a disruption and discussion
yes.
in this household, because I tend to take a broom because it's much more effective. But the dust goes everywhere. Well, a vacuum cleaner is
Well,
useless. A vacuum cleaner is useless.
our vacuum cleaner is in the storage.
Yeah. But anyway, so I decided I was going to hang this vacuum cleaner in the kitchen next to the pantry. We have a walk-in pantry. And I think it's really practical there. Yeah. But it
Yes.
kind of got pushed back, but I won this one. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
Um, and this is half the thing. But the mop and the bucket are actually in the garage. So I've got to walk like about 4 kilometers to get to the mop and the bucket, which is not motivating, because
Yes,
you look at the place, well, actually, it's not that bad, Um, yeah. So yes, infrastructure is important. Yeah.
yes,
I can see your cogs whirring.
yes. I'm thinking about, don't you have a place in the pantry for the mop and the bucket?
No, no. There's a fridge, a freezer, a shelf unit, and the dishwasher's in the pantry, and it's full.
Okay.
And the pantry, I think, is going to be that's going to be a tough one,
Yes.
but we'll leave that one there. I might put that one into next weekend. Not this
Yes.
weekend. We'll see how we go. I've got to see what your lists tell me and so on. Okay. Thank you. If it's not my mother or my wife, it's Fruit Loop who determine what I do.
I'm not telling you you have to do it. I'm just saying it can be helpful.
Which is the same in
And
your language.
and that's the magic of these lists. So yesterday while I was busy doing this, I realized that if you actually follow the structure on these lists, if you do a little bit of cleaning here and a little bit of cleaning there, daily, weekly, monthly, you don't have to spend a lot of time spring cleaning. You don't have to spend a lot of time cleaning when it's winter or summer or spring, because you follow these lists and it makes the workload lighter.
Exactly. And you can actually make it fun. And I think this is something that we, um,
Yes.
build it into an exercise routine.
Yes, can do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And while I was just something I want to add that just came to mind. Um, while I was practicing some of these things, one of them was to declutter one room.
mm.
And I actually started in the office. And if I didn't do that, we were going to have a lot more problems yesterday. So it was already decluttered. Now
Safety,
it's
safety first.
washed. Now it's completely washed and cleaned.
Mm.
So that helps a lot because
Yeah.
it was decluttered, it was very easy to move everything out and just let it be for the time being. So
And
yesterday, just clean out the water. Today, wash the window, not the windows, the curtains,
curtains.
and
Yeah. Mm.
now it's nice and clean and tidy.
Mm. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, it's almost like safety first, isn't it? And with
Yes.
decluttering, and I think you have to really be ruthless and make a decision,
Mhm.
put it somewhere else or throw it away.
Yes.
Um,
I threw a lot of things away because I actually started in my son's room with his cupboard because
mm,
that wasn't just a pain point, that was a knife through the heart. So I started there and then I threw a lot of things out while he was at school. So now it's also easier to clean his room, sweep the floor, make the bed, and it's done.
yeah, I mean, I wish I could do that as well. Declutter some of the things that do not belong to me. But my wife has a photographic memory. She will contact me from the UK and say, can you please go there, there, and then lift that, and then over there you'll find that. And I'm thinking, how does she do it? Yeah, how does
Yes.
she do it? Yeah. Um, but then she's a hotel inspector. She is trained to look at detail.
Yes.
Advice to any single person listening to it: if you fall in love with a hotel inspector, beware.
Good luck.
You may regret it afterwards. Yeah. Okay, Fruit Loop. Shall we call it a day? Because it is now 5 to
Yes.
12 your time, and you have to go and do your maniac driving routine.
I'm not the maniac.
I was going to say that.
I'm just put
Other
it out
driver,
there.
other drivers are available.
Yes. And it's raining, so they are completely bonkers.
Okay. So the quicker you send me my tasks for the weekend, the quicker I will report back. I look forward to doing
Yes.
this. It's a challenge. I like that. Um, and I will finish watching 56 Days.
Yes.
I will try and finish watching Wild Robot if I'm allowed to. I'm going to have fun this weekend,
Yes. Sounds good.
and I look
Be
forward to it.
energized, but remember, on Sunday, you can't clean the whole day. You have to relax. You have to take some me time so that Monday you can start fresh.
Mm. I did actually say last week I was going to make some mustard, and somehow I kind of fell off the list and I didn't do it. So I might do something. Um, and I will spend probably, because again, we've been talking about cleaning, we've got to talk about food preparation and food planning and so on. So I might actually do that.
Yes. But I taught you how to do the food planning, so you can do that for this weekend.
Mm,
Do something fun like make mustard
mm,
and not a lot of time cleaning the house, but
no,
starting at one point.
yeah, exactly. Okay. Episode 37. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.
I look forward to processing this. Um,
Balls and all.
I was going to say another word, but I won't.
Pluckies. Pluckies?
Happy. I love that word. Yeah. See you next week. Have a great weekend. Thank you for
Thank you.
everything
You
you've
as
done
well.
this week. I will have to do
My
one
pleasure.
reader activity over the weekend, but you know what it is, and it is important.
Yes.
Um, we go from there.
Yes.
See you next time, same
Have
time, same.
fun. Enjoy the organizational skills.
Oh, fantastic. All right. I will do so. Bye.
Take care. Bye bye.